There are an estimated 5 million wild hogs in the United States today. They cause an estimated $1.5 billion in damage a year. Shoot 'em. I actually take this thing with me when I go camping. I can either stack up rocks or I can build a fire in here. I'll miss it if I ever have to bug out. It won't fit in my backpack. Mrs. West S can cook some terrific meals on this thing. There it is. You got a kidney, chunk of that bacon I'm making, and liver. Now, I'm not going to waste this by cooking all of it. I'm going to cook a piece of it, probably this piece right here. Cook the kidney, cook that bacon. I'm going to use this to fry this. Nope, not going to eat it raw. Same with anything else. Whenever you're dealing with meat, whether you buy it at the store or hunt it and kill it yourself, you don't want to be eating it raw. You want to cook it, and you want to cook it thoroughly. That's the biggest danger you have with wild game because it's not medicated. First line of defense between you and any of the potential that there is for the diseases or the parasites is just cook it thoroughly. And thoroughly doesn't mean to death. It just means make sure you cook it all the way. And wash your hands when you're done messing with it. Now, I got a selection of utensils here that I can use. Trey, I'm gonna buy you a knife or I'll mail it to you, alright? I'll wash it. And I've done a lot of research over the past several months, even maybe even years, on this organ meat. We are the American cultures are the only ones that have forsaken the organs. You know, the liver, the kidney, and several others. Everybody else counts them as an important and delicious part of their diet. That's how it got done. You got your knife dirty, Trey. I want to go wash it. Y'all go give Trey Ezel a look. He's a little bitty channel. He's a good old boy. Just call him cousin, Trey. Tell him you love him. Tell him I sent you. I'm going to use different utensils.
I'm trying to sneak up on safety.
Trey, getting your knife dirty again. Good, got Hey guys, this is Small Onion. You done snuck in here again. Why didn't he cut this up in little giblets before he throwed it in there? Is he trying to show us how not to do this? I mean, he was trying to render down the grease out of it. He knew it was going to shrink up into a big chewy ball. Or maybe he didn't. I don't know. I just don't know about this old boy. And Trey, you need to do something about this old boy just using your stuff. He didn't ask. He just said, here's your knife. Oh, no, I'm going to keep it and use it. I don't know why any of us watch this guy. That's mine. Don't know why I like making the stuff I give away, or giving away the stuff I make, either one. The way it means something. The reason I'm doing this thing about this kick about eating wild food is the feral hogs, especially, they're out there. You can kill them, leave them lay, and make more flies and stuff. I think we got plenty of those already. Or, you know, you can hunt them, eat them. Cut down on some of that abuse of the domestically raised animals. I've got a lot of different bits of advice from different folks on how to make my chickens have more eggs, how to get my goats fatter. I've raised my animals to be as close to a wild thing as I can. Our chickens get to go out at least 4 times a week. We open the door and we cut them loose and we let them in. We've trained them to go in and eat inside so we can close them up at night because we were tired of feeding the coyotes. Had raccoons and possums and skunks and foxes, bobcats, feral cats, all kinds of critters come up and destroy my chicken flock. We've got right at 100 chickens right now, or 100 fowl right now. And we've lost more than that to predation. That's just nuts. Eating wild meat, it's not going to hurt you. Wild hog tastes good. Wild hog doesn't have any antibiotics in it, doesn't have any steroids, doesn't have any fly spray, doesn't have any of that stuff they put on that meat you're buying at the grocery store. This hog lived a life, ran around in the woods, ate mesquite beans, cactus, baby deer, and just had a blast doing what she was doing until she became food. As opposed to store-bought food where it stays in the pen until it becomes food. It gets fed stuff it really doesn't like, that's not good for it, that it hasn't worked for, it doesn't get any exercise. So it can become Canadian bacon on a pizza. I choose it. know the irony of this, right? Frying this in its own fat. Bet you anything. Put that right there and make some good gravy. We got the grease. We got the drippings. I got flour. I got water. I ain't stupid. Alright, I'm going to try to explain to y'all what I was doing here. The wind was too bad, you couldn't hear me. Gravy's real simple. You need hot grease, not too hot. You know, if it's too hot, you'll burn your flour. It'll scorch to the bottom of the skillet. Now I do my gravy a little different than other folks. I put a lot of flour and then I use water. Basically put the flour in there and make sure that all that hot grease is absorbed by the flour. Now I could have left it here, but I wanted the thick gravy. So what I'm doing, I'm going to dump a little bit more flour on top of this and make sure that every bit of the grease has a little bit of flour touching it. Stir that all around real good. You want all that white mixed up into that brown right there. Now if you got your fire low enough, do not freak out. You're going to be fine. If your fire's low enough, nothing's happening right now. Nothing's really cooking. It's just greasy flour. That's all that is. And you can use water. You can use tap water, bottled water, Dasani, whatever. You can go over to the bar ditch and get some if it's clean enough. I mean, you're fixing to cook it anyway, so I guess it'd be all right. And you just now you got to stir that real careful. You work all the lumps out. Remember, that's why you're doing this at a low heat, so you can knock all them lumps down out of there. Now, this is doing this on a campfire. I ain't got a knob up there to adjust this. But you got to be careful and keep an eye on it. If it starts to thicken up too fast, you just add a little bit more water. I think I can't remember if I had to add water twice to this or not. I know it came out good. But now it's just a matter of stirring and working all your lumps out. And after you get all the lumps, you're not going to get all of them because some of them are actually little giblets. And after you get all that flour and grease mixed up into that water, then you just got to stir it nice and slow. You want the bottom of it to get hot, and then you want to move it around. It'll thicken up on its own. A little bit later on, I had to add some sticks because, well, I didn't have enough fire under it. But that's it, making gravy, 101. And I almost forgot something. This right here is the most important part of gravy. It's black pepper. You start putting black pepper on it until somebody comes by and tells you that that's too much black pepper, and you don't listen to them because that ain't enough black pepper yet. That's enough black pepper. And then you just stir it in, and it thickens up so nice and pretty, and you eat it. You eat it with biscuit, you can eat it on your eggs, you can eat it on your hog liver, your beef liver. You can eat this on your hash brown. Gravy goes with anything. A pretty interesting note on gravy. Think about it. You've got the ground up grains, very little of it actually. I mean, there's 4 tablespoons of ground up grain in there, and the fat from the animal. We blended the two with some seasoning and some water, and you add these calories to the meat, and there's enough here for a meal for 2 or 3 adults. You know, we throw so much away that would be good for us. It ain't even funny. Kidney, liver, bacon, gravy. Because this is an experiment, we're going to go naked first. Scoop. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That tastes better than beef liver. Here's just what this tastes like in this one. It's like gizzards. It's like chicken gizzards. One thing I gotta do now, when I turn the camera off, I'm gonna go get me a beer. I can make gravy. I'm on the keto diet. I ain't had gravy in a while. It's good on pig kidney. That was so good. Oh, I forgot something. Bacon. I'll finish the whole thing. My wife can see me out that window. What's this got gun? Guys, there ain't nothing wrong with it. Matter of fact, there's a lot of things right with this. This is good. Makes me wonder what I've been eating out of the store now. I ain't never throwing another kidney out either. The dog's gonna have to fight for him from now on. Y'all get out and do something.